All right, I've got to do some throwing today, and I thought I'd just film some of it. It's Sunday morning out here, and we've started doing a lot of Thursday evening church, so we're available to watch grandchildren and stuff during services, and they'll be coming out this morning. But I've got some stuff. Surprisingly enough, I thought I had a lot of inventory in my little store that I go to, and it turns out that I got a big check all of a sudden, and I'm like, all this stuff sold, and I was really surprised, and now I'm low on inventory and people are asking for stuff. And I guess I drive a lot of business out there because people know me and they know that's the only place I sell stuff. So I've got some mugs to throw this morning and a couple of 2 or 3, maybe 4 of my mixing bowls. And I thought I would just start out doing some throwing. And I was going to share a little bit for those of you that like to hear me talk. And I know some of you don't like the sound of my voice, and I apologize for that. But it's just something I do, and I kind of enjoy it. So the other day, I did have grandkids out here. They've never seen me throw, which I thought was really interesting. And when I started, their reaction was so surprising to me. They were looking at me with their mouths wide. They were like, how do you do that? That's magic. They were seeing the clay just move, to the pressure, I guess, of the hands, coning things up and pushing things down. And they were just dumbfounded by what was happening in front of them. And I never really thought anything about it. I was like, I didn't think it was that big a deal, but I guess it can be kind of mesmerizing to watch somebody throw if you're not familiar with it. I'll tilt this down where you can watch a little bit more. And so I may have talked about it earlier. Then one of my granddaughters got on the wheel, and I helped her, and she made a really neat little present for her father for today, Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all you guys out there that do watch. I know my audience is mostly on the more feminine side, but they were just shocked, and I thought that was just really interesting. That their reaction, that's magic, was what one of them said. How do you do that? How do you make the clay do that? And so for those of you that throw, you know what you do is pretty creative, and don't take it for granted that just anybody can do that. It does take some skill and practice, and it is kind of magic what we do. And I've got these mugs that I put these little badges on. I put Arkansas badges on them, and then sometimes I put different things on them, everything from a peace sign to a city name that's local around here to just whatever. I've had somebody request one that just actually says Arkansas on it as a gift. And I have someone that just wants asking for a city name. It's a local little place out here where I sell my stuff. So I'm going to be doing this today for just a little bit, and then by the time I'm done, the kids should be showing up. But it's really cloudy here in Arkansas today. Should get some rain here before too long, maybe this evening. And yesterday was an interesting day. I'll just share a little bit of that with you. I had an uncle, he has passed now, that when I was growing up here in Arkansas, he's done a lot of stuff. He owned a sawmill, and yeah, that was in the 70s, and I used to work in a sawmill with him. He always drove a truck of some kind, gas trucks, delivering gas, or dump trucks or something. And I shared a story on Facebook with some friends The old house where he lived has now been sold, and yesterday was moving day. And he had lived there for, my gosh, close to 50-some, 60 years. And his children were there close with him, and my aunt. But one time when it was raining really heavily around here when I was a kid, probably somewhere around 1974, and a lot of stuff flooded here in Northwest Arkansas. And he took us out, me and my cousins, a bunch of us, and we just went out driving around on these old dirt roads looking to see what all damage had been done. And there was this rock, and I'm talking this rock, and it's round. I may get a picture of it and throw it in this video. But this thing was huge, and Mac was one of the strongest men I've ever met. I've seen him take barbells with 110, 120 pounds for just a normal guy, and a long barbell, not a dumbbell, and just press it over his head multiple times with one hand. And he wasn't that big. He was probably about 6 foot tall, 180, 90 pounds. But he just had this strength. And it wasn't just physically. He was a very strong man with his integrity and his faith and all these things. And he was just quite an example to me growing up. And so I know we all need those people in our lives. And I appreciated him more than he ever knew, I'm sure. As a kid and now as an adult looking back. But he picked up that rock and put it in the back of this old Chevy van that we were riding in and took it to his house because he thought it was cool looking. And it sat in a flower bed out there in front of that house for over 50 years. And I still remember that. I'm 64. And that rock, when they got ready to move, I told my cousins, I said, if nobody's taking that rock, I want that rock. I remember riding with him down these dirt roads, all of us looking at stuff, all those washouts and stuff, and him picking up that rock. How in the world? We used a tractor with a front end loader to get it on my truck because none of us were strong enough to pick it up. And we hauled that thing home yesterday, and it's out here in a flower bed at my house. And I've told my cousins, they said, don't ever get rid of it. I said, no, I'm never getting rid of it, but it'll sit here till I die. And then somebody else is gonna have to come get it. And I don't have a tractor to load it with, so y'all have to figure that out. But it was just a great memory of somebody that I loved and that looked up to and all. And just a little thing that happened. And now it's sitting out here in a flower bed. And I'll think of him. I remember the last Thanksgiving, he died just a few days after Thanksgiving, he passed away. And I was at Thanksgiving with him. And he was sitting at the bar and we were talking a little bit. And when I came in, I remember him looking at me. And it's the first time, I'm being very honest, that I've ever seen him look weak. I knew his heart was weak at that time. But he just looked at me and he said, you know what, Galen? Get yourself another piece of pie. And I laughed because I remember looking at him. I said, isn't that what the world needs, Mac? Everybody needs another piece of pie. Why don't we all just get a piece of pie and get along and go on with life? But I'll never forget the last thing he said to me was, Galen, get yourself another piece of pie. So anyway, there's a little story for you. Just great memories of growing up here. I used to go over there and spend the night a lot when I was a kid. So anyway, there's a mug. If I can possibly get it off of here. I wonder if y'all have trouble getting things off the wheel. I know when I first started out, it was just horrid trying to get things off the wheel. I've tried all kinds of different things. I finally got to the point where I can kind of cut things off, lift things off. But, I know that's a challenge for a lot of people. Oh, missing a tool here. There we go. My little hand mater. But I'm gonna put this in high-speed mode here in just a bit. And I'm just gonna throw a few things. And I hope you enjoy watching. So, here we go. All right, I've got those mugs out that I needed to make. And I need to make some of my mixing bowls. These that if you go look, I have a video showing you how I make these. And they're just small, they're little 2-pound. I call them Saturday egg bowls. They're great for scrambling eggs. We use them in the house all the time when we're baking for, like, you know, the wet ingredients before you pour it in with all your flour and all. You know, if you've got eggs, milk, some things like that, butter, whatever. They're just not big. They're great. They're really easy. I put a little handle on the back of them. But I'm down to, last time I took stuff to the shop, I took 5 of these in, and I was in there yesterday, there's 1 left. And they just sell. People love these things. I was told a story when I was in the shop yesterday, which just touched my heart. But the owner, I was talking to her, and she said there was a little lady from the nursing home that was brought in that store, that little mercantile where I sell stuff, and she was wanting the perfect gift for her nurse, her caregiver. And she said she shopped that whole store, and she picked out one of my mixing bowls, one of these little egg bowls, to take back to her nurse at the nursing home. And I thought, that's pretty cool. I'm glad she found something that she thought was the perfect gift. And it was something that I made. So just realize you make the perfect gift for so many people on that wheel, in your little studio, in your garage, in your spare bedroom. I know a lot of you work in different places like I used to. And it's not always just about, you know, doing stuff for fun. Sometimes you're making something really special for somebody else. And I think that's really cool. That's something that we get to do and share, you know, our art, our creativity that others get to enjoy. Seem to have a little bubble there. But these are really neat. Like I say, we use them. I sell a ton of these, to the point that my lovely wife is always telling me I should keep these in stock, and I really just get tired of making them sometimes. But they're just a little 2-pound bowl. We'll try to show you on this first one, and then we're going to go back into time lapse to finish them out. And then I'm going to be done out here for a while. Like I say, it is Father's Day, and I don't have, my phone of course is filming, and I've got my watch off, and it's over here buzzing like crazy. I've talked to a lot of the kids and grandkids this morning already, but I've got some I need to follow up with as soon as I can get off of the wheel. But like I say, I just pretty much make a bowl out of this, and then we put a spout on it and a little handle. They're really big and easy to glaze. I put a little honey flux or something on it. and then a nice color around the rim. And just accents it. And I get these little, I buy these little egg whisk in a pack of 10 on Amazon that I throw in there with one of my cards. And it just makes a real neat little package, you know. There we go. Get that up there a little bit. A little size on it. And we'll try to do some shaping here. I have a hard time getting this. I bought a whisper. I know I have a video out there, but I bought this whisper. Someone is approaching the studio. Okay. I bought this whisper, and I have been using a Shimpo VL Lite for like 5 years. And I still have not got, you have so much more control over the speed. If you take your foot off the pedal, it stops. It's done. There is no coast. But at the same time, you have so much more control over the speed, and I'm really not used to it. And it's a struggle. It's a great wheel. It will last me for as long as I want to throw pottery, I'm sure. But it just operates differently from what I have done over the last many years. So it's a little bit tougher. All right, let's see. I'm gonna have to even this out just a little bit. I love my ribs. If you're not working with ribs, you're missing out. It's something you should really practice. These little metal ribs, I've got wood ribs that I use for different things, but these just really can help you with a lot of shaping, compressing this clay. All right, so now then, we got that about where we want it. Put a little more belly in that for like a bowl. Get that rim laid out there. Might take, I use these, you've seen these in my videos. Nice little soft rubber rib. Helps me clean the inside out, shape it, get that nice little bowl to it. Compress this rim a little bit. Usually put a little swirl in the bottom. Just gives it a little bit of a decorative feel to it. Right about there. And then we'll work on that rim a little bit just to level it up. This is my little homemade tool I made from a little flat piece of aluminum that I bought there at Lowe's. I have a little video on little tips and tricks and tools that I do. If you want to go look at that one, some different little things. They're just handy, it's helpful. I mean, I'm sure you can buy something. You can use a rib for it, but I'm always into making stuff. Sometimes it's making a mess, but it Occasionally it turns out. All right. Then we're gonna stop this, and we're just gonna put a little spout on this. I'm gonna try to thin that out right there a little bit. You can see how that is. And there it is. See that? And then after she dries up, we'll put a little handle right back here. Just a little flat half circle so that you can just grab that with your hand and pour with it. And they're neat little bowls. And they're not hard to make. So, I'm gonna cut that one off. I'm gonna go back to time lapse. And if y'all have any questions about any of this stuff I'm doing, whether I can answer it or not, I'll try. But shoot me a comment. There it is. All right, this is the very last one. I heard the grandkids show up just a few minutes ago, and I put that one on different from where I wedged it. I really don't want to go that way. I like to go the way that I wedged it. Let's turn that baby over, see if we don't make a mess of it. But they're gonna be inside cooking breakfast, arguing about who gets to do the scrambled eggs this morning. And we get to eat what they cook, so. Here's the last one. So, get this thing to center up after I kind of put it on there backwards. But these are neat, and you may see when I'm taking these off the wheel, because these are big, you know, I'm just not able to pick those things up like I do a mug nowadays. So I put a little water on each side of it, and then I wire it off. And that gets a little bit of wire underneath this, and it lets me just slide it right off onto my newspapered boards over here. I like to have newspaper on them myself. I started doing that way back in class. It just kind of dries the bottom, and then they're easy to pick up off of there. But that way, I can just slide them off of the bat, get them off here on another board. Well, I just have every one of these I've done, I've had a bubble up here in the top. And I thought I did a little wedging. Apparently not enough. I have somebody poking in, looking at me, giving me booger face over here, which is what they do. Yeah. So, if they happen to show up here in a minute, here they come. Come over here, you're on camera.
Oh, okay.
Stick your face in there and say hi.
Hi.
Stick your face in there and say hi. Don't get muddy. Can you see it?
Hi.
All right, this is my last one, and I'm gonna wrap this up. Get your finger out of your nose and go on. Make me some breakfast. I'll be there in a minute.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye. The joy of grandchildren. These two are just nothing but pure athletes. And it has just really shocked us. Our granddaughter went to the regionals in gymnastics this year down in Galveston and got first place for her age group. And I believe she got 3rd overall in the entire meet of, yeah, I don't know how many hundred contestants there were. And her little brother, he's the best trash talker you'll ever meet in your life. Problem is, he's 6 and he can pretty well back it up. I'm scared of when he gets a little older and a little better. I don't know if any of you would be familiar with Marvin Delph, who used to play basketball for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And he did not play for the NBA. I think he went on to play for some Christian leagues or something like that. But when I was in high school, I got an all-tournament trophy in basketball. And they brought Marvin Delph down from the Razorbacks. This was probably in like 76, way back, okay? But they brought him down to hand out these trophies, and I still have a picture of him shaking hands with me and handing me this trophy, and it's on an electronic frame. And the other day that came up. The kids love to stand and watch those electronic frames. And that picture came up of me there in a letter jacket getting a trophy from Marvin Delph. And my grandson said, "What is that?" And of course my wife told him, she said, "Well, that's Grandpa getting a basketball trophy from one of the Razorbacks." And without hesitation, with no awe for what I had accomplished, he turns around and looks at me as a 6-year-old and he says, "I'm so much better than you were." And the thing is, his parents do not encourage this. He's so good. He'll go to one of these, they have the coach pitch baseball at 6 years old, and he'll hit 3 home runs in one game. You know, I mean, he backs it up. He's really pretty good at what he does. And he went to a basketball camp this summer at 6, and his dad went to pick him up. He couldn't find him, and they said, "Oh, we had to move him over with the 9-year-olds because I guess there just was no competition for him with the 6-year-olds, and he was making everybody look bad." And so they were like, we wanted to challenge him, so we moved him over with the 9-year-olds. And I really hope and pray that he just really is able to enjoy sport. He loves it, he enjoys it, and nobody's pushing him to do it. If he said tomorrow, "I don't want to do this anymore," and the same thing with the gymnastics with my granddaughter, they would say, "Okay, well, what do you want to do?" But they love it, they live it, and they're just not being forced to do it and pushed into it, and it's a really big thing. So I look forward to continuing to watch them. We love to go to these meets in different cities with the gymnastics and support her. And I look forward to watching him develop and grow into possibly a very talented athlete. And he looks forward to proving to us that he's as good as he says he is. And I hope he is one day. So anyway, I'm just finishing this up. I want to wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Just wanted to put a little throwing video out there. I've got a few things on the shelf. The wife has come up with some new designs in her paintwork on mugs that we've got some sitting over here ready to go into a glaze kiln. And I've got to get some bisque stuff out, but I think those are going to just be fabulous looking. She had done some research and found some designs that she liked, and then she's tried to recreate them, so we're going to go from there. So there we go. Bump that up just a minute. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.